Karma and the principle of cause and effect. Karma. We've all heard this term, but like many words in the mainstream lingo, it is also subject to ambiguity and misinterpretation. Some people believe that karma means that if they do something good today, then something good is going to happen to them tomorrow. People with Muslim faith, for example, believe that if they do good deeds, they're going to get rewarded in the afterlife. But is that how karma really works? Is karma even a real tangible thing? And if it is indeed real, then what really is it? If you remove all the fancy labels, karma really boils down to the principle of cause and effect. So in order to grasp the essence of karma, it is crucial therefore that we understand what cause and effect really is. Fortunately though, we are already well acquainted with cause and effect, and are always surrounded by an overwhelming evidence of it. We all know, for example, that certain things lead to certain results. That eating more vegetables leads to good health. That regular exercise leads to weight loss. We know that if we sow seeds in the ground, plants pop out of them. We also know that if we jump from the roof of our house, instead of becoming Spider-Man, we'll break our butts and end up in a hospital. Doing this does that. Doing that does this. This is cause and effect. Without this knowledge of what causes what, we cannot navigate life at all. Our actions will have no goal or direction. If you observe life closely, you will discover, like people throughout history have discovered, that there are certain never-changing aspects to our world, that there are certain connections between events that stand the trials of time, that are the same every time they are checked, in every way they are checked. We know, for example, that every time we heat the water, it turns into vapor. That every time we keep a magnet close to our refrigerator, it sticks. We know that tomorrow again when we wake up, the sun will rise. It won't be so that if you heat the water, it will somehow turn into whiskey, or that the magnet will dissolve into your refrigerator, or that the sun will decide to take the weekend off. Without cause and effect, we would just be living in a chance existence where anything was possible, anything could result from the same event or action. Notice that somehow causation is holding our world together in a particular fashion, giving rise to a sense of predictability. The amazing thing is that just like this law of cause and effect is true for the world, it is also true for the world within us. Since for some strange reason, reality seems to unfold in certain repetitive and predictable fashion, it is not absurd to claim that some aspects of our own existence are anticipatory to a certain extent. After all, being a part of the universe, we ourselves are subject to this play of cause and effect. For some reason though, most of us unfortunately believe that we can do whatever the hell we feel like doing and it will somehow result in happiness. We fill our head with unnecessary rubbish, then expect clarity. We fill our bellies with junk food, then get surprised when we get sick. We talk negative things about the world and behind people's back and expect wholesome thoughts to pop up in our head. If the magnet never stops attracting iron, why would an unhealthy lifestyle stop attracting suffering and sadness? How is that any different? To participate in a crazy hangover then is also to invite a severe headache the next day. It's nothing personal, just a law of cause and effect. Fortunately, while many aspects of life unfold in predictable manners, they are impersonal and neutral to our likes and dislikes. Now this is good news because with better understanding of life, we can choose more of the things that cause happiness and less of the things that cause suffering. And no power in the world will stop us from doing that. In a sense, we have all the ingredients in us to make our lives a blessing, and likewise, all the ingredients to turn it into a living hell. The trick is to know what these ingredients are. Fortunately for us, human beings have been around for thousands of years to experiment with what works and what not works in life. They have left us, their posterity, necessary hints, guidelines and practices that help them alleviate the very human suffering that we all share. If you think your depression, your wandering thoughts, your confusion, your addictions are unique to you, you're wrong. You're not special even in that area. Because these are very human issues and we're all affected by them. The genius of karmic principle, therefore, is looking at all human activity as an interplay of causes and effects, and in doing so, providing a way to harness the power of causation to live a life of great profundity and joy. Because if we simply discover the cause of happiness and then arrange our lives accordingly, then through the principle of cause and effect, happiness will follow naturally by itself. So what then has karma to do with all this? Karma essentially means action. Since we all have the ability to act, we ourselves are agents of causation and are constantly shaping the world throughout our lives. Whatever we do, the way we talk, walk, sit, or even think, is karma. In Hindu and Buddhist philosophies, karma is presented in a rather pragmatic way, as a lifestyle rather than an ideology, where individuals have a very active role in enriching their lives. Through karma, we have the power not just to mold our external reality, but also our own subjective experiences. From the karmic lens, whatever we do in the world also changes us, and therefore, karma is the art of working in such a way that through every little act, we shift towards our highest possibilities. Swami Vivekananda once said, "If you really want to judge a man's character, do not look at his great performances. Every fool may become a hero at one time or another. Watch a man do his most common actions. Those are the things that will tell you the real character of a great man." Since every cause has an effect, all our actions throughout the day carve our mind and our body in a certain way. But because of our ignorance, we carry ourselves in such a way that leads to misery and all manners of inner conflicts. Buddha believes that whatever suffering we feel is the result of our own karma, and therefore a skillful application of karma can also pacify our suffering. This kind of karma, which pacifies all our suffering and causes profound happiness to occur, is then referred to as good karma. And the kind of karma which doesn't lead to the same thing, profound happiness, is referred to as bad karma. Now we all have our own ideas of what is good and bad for us. But Buddha said that what is truly good for us is what makes us realize this state of profound happiness, or what is also known as enlightenment. According to him, most people don't know what makes them truly happy, or how to cause this great joy to occur by virtue of their own intuition. Buddha believed that if someone replaces his bad deeds with good deeds, then he shines again and brightens up this world, like the moon when freed from the clouds. What he really meant by good karma, though, was a kind of action that makes you more conscious and aware of yourself, and bad karma as the kind of action which causes confusion about who you are. The goal of this entire business of karma, therefore, is to act, live, and work in such a way that we become more self-aware. A time comes in this cultivation when we become free of our ignorance and there is no more need to do anything to be happy. That is, happiness becomes a state that never leaves. But the right kind of karma or good karma is a vehicle that helps us get there. To conclude this episode, let me read a few lines by James Allen from his book As a Man Thinketh. Quote, "A man's mind may be likened to a garden, which may be intelligently cultivated or allowed to run wild. But whether cultivated or neglected, it must and will bring forth. If no useful seeds are put into it, then an abundance of useless weed seeds will fall therein, and will continue to produce their kind. Every man is where he is by the law of cause and effect, and in arrangement of his life there is no element of chance, but all is the result of this law which cannot err. This is just as true of those who feel out of harmony with their lives as of those who are contented with it. This great law is absolutely just and cannot give good for evil and evil for good. Possessed of such knowledge, the man will then know, looking back upon his past ignorance and blindness, that his life is, and always was, perfectly ordered, and that all his past experiences, both good and bad, was a result of his evolving, yet unevolved self.